buddy. It's wet out there this morning. Your bench is wet.
Hey.
Hey, it's cold out there.
Oh, it feels good. 62.
It's 60 degrees and it was raining on me.
Oh, well, now that's true. That
rainwater was pretty cold.
Yeah, the house is down to like 74.
Well, it feels good in the house.
Yeah, that's probably why.
It feels good out there minus the cold raindrops.
Right.
Is that my coffee?
It sure is.
My coffee.
That's right, you sweet little thing.
Oh. If I can't spend time outside with him this morning, I'm going to spend time inside with him this morning. And nighttime may be a little happy to see him. Hey, buddy, it's raining out there today. That's right. Gray and Slate would not be comfortable enough or Panther to be picked up and brought in, but Tux tolerates it. A few minutes ago, Don had to go get an Amazon package from an unusual vehicle.
Yeah.
It was a minivan, came down the driveway with our Amazon package, and now the UPS guy is here.
Yep.
With some other sort of package.
And it's raining.
And it's raining. That is the extra big UPS truck, but when there's no cars on the parking pad, he doesn't have any trouble. Oh, there's our under the sink tubs. That's what that is. I didn't get a notice they shipped.
Me either.
No, They were sort of back ordered, and what really happened, I think, was that Amazon decided that the seller decided that they had put them up at the wrong price. Because we got these for $1 a piece or less.
Yes.
Yeah, and now they're like $2 or $3 a piece. Oh, and they were supposed to be red, which I didn't want. It said they were red, which I love red, but not in my kitchen. And they came and they're white. So somebody else might have been upset about them, but not us. Now look, we needed 4, but when they're going to give you 12 for $10, you take the 12 and you say, I'm going to use them in the garage or at Lego League Robotics, or you just take them. Because they were going to be $3 a piece at Walmart, and it was going to be $12 for 4. So we got 12 for, I think it was $10. But it's that listing is gone from Amazon. I'm glad they honored the listing.
Right. I would say this is not the most robust.
Right. It's not the Rubbermaid rubber,
That's
flexible rubber.
It's basically the Sterilite rubber.
Right, but it's not bad either.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it hard crack. It just is not as soft rubber as it could be either.
Yeah, well, there's 12 of them there, and I bet they weigh 5 pounds. So, you know, there's something along those lines. White.
Well, you know, Don and I, one of the things we do when we're buying stuff is we try to consider, if you pay more and you get the more expensive one, and it lasts 10 years, but you pay less and something lasts 2 years,
9 pounds.
Which should you have done? You know, so I'm sure cost-wise, we could have paid more and they might last longer, but the time these are going to last for what we paid will be, it's kind of like the gas grill thing. We buy the cheap grills now, and when they're done, we throw them away without remorse. Last time I bought a really, really expensive one, it did not last longer based on the price we paid.
A lifetime.
Right, it was not, it wasn't worth it. So anyway, we'll show you under the sink after we get them down there. That's going to go on top of the dog crate, the utility crate we put, the utility pan tray we put down there.
Right, the whole
this is so we can just lift out
things.
Right, if you want to, it just makes our life easy.
Shoe polish stuff. Right.
Well, cool. Gives me something to do this afternoon. I'm glad everybody got such a good chuckle out of the cats taking over the new bench. It's a little sad today that it's raining. It's going to be raining through Thursday, you know, that we're not able to enjoy it today. I think they're all hanging out in the garage. Well, we're back for another view from the front porch. It's kind of like being in a treehouse up here, since it's a first floor room, but it's basically a second floor porch. It's still chilly. It's still raining. I think that's going to be the theme for the week according to the weathermen. and just kind of having one of those lazy, rainy days. I'm contemplating a drive out in the van because I won't be driving Ruby, who's newly detailed, in the rain today.
Here we go. There's my girl. She's the queen of Lego organization, so I put her to another task. Under the sink task. So let's see how she does organizing.
Aren't you excited for us that this is our rainy day project as we get to organize under the sink?
It is actually raining outside. Really, truly like raindrops.
Yeah.
We won't have to water the plants, which is good.
I told Don that we had to take everything out, look at what we had, and reorganize it, because we had it organized. You know, you organize under your sink, and then 6 months, a year later, it's a disaster of people grabbing and putting back, and Don will complain he doesn't know what's under here. And
and it goes way, way back there.
It does. And it's okay for stuff like shoe polish that Don polishes a pair of dress shoes one time a year for that to be like in that corner because we don't have a better place for it. But, you know, like the dish stuff for the dishwasher, Don needs this pretty much every night. And you must have used the last one yesterday.
Well, I use it because I stick the other one on top, and it keeps it up high.
It's better for your back.
Well, yeah, I don't have to bend over, but it you know, why bend over all the way to the ground every time?
All right, well, we will show you an after picture when we get it done. Yeah.
I was told to hold this sideways and smile. I do what I'm told. I'm a good boy.
Oh, boy, you guys are getting some good behind the scenes stuff this week. So my only not 100% positive on these is that, and I'm sure this is true with a lot of these, the bottom is not completely flat. So if you have something that doesn't weigh a lot or has a small diameter bottle, this side, that can be problematic to your OCD wanting to get things to line up straight and stand up tall. I think you're going to be hard pressed though. I'm just betting to find one that has a flatter bottom than this.
I agree.
So it came out good. I mean, I can't complain about it. I don't think we have more room or less room, but what we have is compartmentalized, reorganized, and should there ever be a leak, we should be able to deal with it better. So, and there's the little leak sensor you'll see down there. We'll put it in the middle or push it toward the back. Yeah. But at any point, I'm glad that we did it. It was really inexpensive. Like I said, those plastic bins are less than $1 a piece. So we've used, you can't actually see one of them, but we've used 7 down there. So we're good. Well, I got all of the SpongeBob stuff put back together. That chum bucket, let me tell you, it's like a house of cards. Now to set it over there on the bookshelf somewhere. I am in the van on the way to the environmental park. Spin the Pokestop, grab the mail, come back home, start dinner. Don's in the garage trying out that TV antenna on the garage TV. It's not warm out here. It's still around 60 degrees, and it's basically been raining the entire day. Surprise, surprise. There's nobody here but me. Last night there was apparently a baby fawn in the road, like right out here, like, you know, 30 feet from where I'm parked. And we have a Fuquay-Varina Police Department officer who apparently is, they call him Mr. Exotic, because he's always helping out wild animals. And he went out in the middle of the road and picked up the fawn and carried it in the direction where the mama went. And then I guess everybody waited, and the mama and the fawn reunited, and it was a happy story. Last week it was a picture of him holding the fawn. Last week he took a rat snake, a black snake with a cream colored belly, totally not harmful, non-venomous. But a lady was afraid of it, so he removed it from her yard. So y'all might remember last year there was a real beaver in the Walmart parking lot. Apparently the wetlands behind Walmart attracted him. He got confused. This officer wasn't there then, but you know, the whole Fuquay Police Department was involved in getting that beaver back to where he belongs. So anyway, I was very relieved to see the fawn was reunited with his or her mom. And obviously when I'm up here, I'll be looking for the fawn, both here and over in our yard. Well, that's not the antenna I thought you were messing with.
Well, the one behind you over there is what I'm messing with.
Uh-huh. How's it going?
It's going. I don't think I've turned the power off on it. See, that's with it on.
Uh-huh.
I'll turn the power, because it's got an amplifier, so I'll turn up. It takes it a second for it to voltage go away. So now that's without the amplifier turned on, or so I'm thinking it ain't doing anything at all. So that's my thinking. So I'm trying to come up with an antenna I can kind of compare it against. So I went and got one of my old.
Well, the feed is breaking up a little bit after.
It makes a little difference, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not the kind of difference that I think it makes a big difference. But yes, I concur that it made a little difference. It made a little difference. That's right.
And so the whole plan here is if one of these worked well, you were going to put it in the house attic and make it a optional antenna for the house TV?
That's right. I'm trying to, we have one of those Mohu antennas. It's like an 18-inch square. It's flat.
And that's already mounted in the attic.
Yeah, and it works actually reasonably well. But it really doesn't, when I'm watching programs recorded on the DVR on that antenna, it breaks up too much. In other words, you know, the signal comes and goes way often. And so, you know, it's the trees are moving or stuff. So that's why I got that antenna there. Was that supposed to be a diversity antenna and pick up signals from multiple different directions or something. Antenna theory is a very complicated thing, and
yeah,
I only know
Don and JB have talked antennas on the telephone before, because JB has some antenna issues in his house down in Florida.
It's one of the fields that you specialize in. If you want to get into electronics or something like that, the people who do antennas, they only do antennas. They don't do power electronics. They don't do digital electronics. They do antennas.
So you're dabbling in
I'm in something that can get way more complicated than I can even begin to understand.
Well, you're testing it at the right time of the year. You don't want to test it in the middle of the winter when there's no leaves on the trees.
That's right.
So if you were, and it's a cloudy, rainy day, so if it looked good today.
Right. Well, obviously, you put the antenna outdoors if you want it to work well.
Right.
And I need to say, I have not given up on maybe possibly putting it outdoors. I mean, I've got a satellite dish antenna in the middle of the front yard, so why would I be offended by sticking a antenna up on the chimney on a pole? I don't see how that would offend me, but I'm worried more about lightning and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because I've had one television destroyed by lightning before, and so that's and it was properly grounded and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was the
plasma. But the thing is, you know, if you get a direct hit, I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do. The only reason the satellite is safer is it's hugging the ground, and normally the trees take the hit. But that particular day, the whole entire house turned blue. I mean, the fact that television was zapped, the only thing I'm surprised is more things weren't zapped. So anyway, like I said, I'm trying to get something to compare it to, so I've got a longer cable down, and so I'm going to go snake this along the floor and run it up into the attic, and I'm going to take that up there along with the power supply and plug it in and see if, and then I can swap between the two cables and see which one does better, because this one in theory is very directional, so the trees shouldn't matter. But see, the other problem is, this is a very directional UHF antenna, and it works great the direction you point it. But the problem is unfortunately the stations, there's some that way, and there's some this way, and there's some over there, and there's some up there. And oh, by the way, there's some over there. So
right, that's the reason my dad had that turner and used to turn his antenna back in the day.
Well, when I first moved into the house, I had in my attic this antenna on a rotor, because I had nothing in my attic. You know, now there's a lot of stuff up there, but
right.
I just had it on, and it actually worked reasonably well. But it's a drag to rotate the antenna just every time you want to tune the channel. So you know, I'm just simply saying is over the air is not the easiest thing to do, and because of the signal, and nobody's really came up with a really good. Well, like I said, that Moohoo, it's a nice omnidirectional antenna, but the problem is it's omnidirectional and it picks up a lot of interference. So you can see this was breaking up. So I'll turn this one back on, turn the power supply back on, and let's see if it clears it out. So see, it's still, but of course we're down here, and that's a terrible location. You don't put an antenna of 3.5 feet off the floor. That's not the correct location.
Right.
So I mean, there are any number of things that are affecting my reception, other than just, oh, it's the TV antenna problem. It's the TV antenna problem. So you know, that's it's just the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You do the best you do.
And again, this is because we think about getting rid of dish,
right?
The satellite, and you know that would sort of require you to have a good antenna signal. So
right. Well, yeah, and the thing I'd like to say about that is, you know, with the coronavirus and the shutdown, if it wasn't for football, I probably wouldn't have. I wouldn't even have satellite. I like my sports, don't misunderstand, but I'm not a fanatic about that stuff. And with Mary Ann, you know, we watch a lot of streaming stuff, which is fine. I enjoy the streaming stuff, and so at this point, you know, I'm about ready with no football on anyway because of the pandemic. I mean, what do I care at this point? Now I just can go stream and forget all this.
Well, I suspect, though, they're going to play just without fans in the stadium, or some reduced number of fans. Yeah, or, I mean, basketball is going back, so well, NASCAR is going back.
Well, everybody does everything on their phones now, but not me.
Yeah.
And so I got a feeling this old school stuff, I may do streaming. I can take to streaming because it's super convenient, super easy. But
he can do it from his Chromebook and Chromecast to some of the stuff.
But I'm not interested. If I can't skip the commercials, I ain't going to watch any of it. The only reason I watch a ton of YouTubes, but I have YouTube Premium or YouTube
Yeah, it
Red.
was YouTube Red, but it's something...
Whatever, I don't get no commercials. I'm sure if I had to start watching commercials on YouTube, I wouldn't watch YouTubes.
Yeah.
I just read or do other things. So, you know, I'm totally with free over-the-air or ad-supported television. I get, but I want the option of not having to watch the ads, and I choose to spend my disposable income on not watching ads. And other people, they watch the ad and spend their disposable income on other things. So I guess all I was really trying to do, these streaming services, I like Netflix and those because there's no commercials. But if you try to get the broadcast, the TVs over the air with football, you get all these commercials and you don't get the option to skip them. And they don't let you do DVD. Some of them let you do DVR, some of them. So, but it's evolving. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I'm doing a pre-bed check to make sure everybody's doing good. Tux is on the platform, but the gray girls are smart enough to be in the garage. It's still raining out there. I checked the rain gauge and we're at 1.25 inches so far. stay dry underneath there, buddy, okay?